Clary Fray, who is a shadow hunter, which is a person who protects the human world from demons, once said to her mother, who was in the hospital unconscious, "I remember you saying that growing up is when you start looking back on times you wish you could change. I guess I've grown up now. I just wish you would have been there when I did." Clary Fray is someone who has become a young woman through some of the hard and bad decisions she has made in her life. I'm not one who has never had somebody there for them in a hard situation, but I know a lot of people who have. And I know it can be a very hard time. We all make bad choices in life that we wish we could change in an instant. But the thing is, we can't. That's when we need to find that little bit of extra strength to get us through that hard time. I'm here today to introduce to you Clary Fray, who found that extra strength in her when nobody was there for her and got through it. She was always there for her friends, she had great powers, and she never gave up. Now let's discuss the first point. Clary was always there for her best friend Simon. During a time when Clary was very confused with who she loved, Simon made a very bad decision about going to a hotel for vampires and ended up getting turned into one himself. When Simon was brought back to Clary practically dead, she didn't know what to do, and she didn't want to leave his side. So she had to make the decision for him to rise again as a vampire. To do this, she wanted him to be buried in a Jewish cemetery, because he was Jewish and he would have wanted that very badly. Even though it would have been a very gruesome sight, she wanted to be right next to him when he rose. After the uprising, she was always there with him. She never left his side and always did things for him that he needed. For example, when Simon wanted to come out to his mom about being a vampire, she even gave him a book about it. She volunteered to go with him to come out to his mom for moral support. When his mom kicked him out of the house, she helped him find a safe place to live. Now that we know Clary's always there, let's move on to discussing how great her powers were. One time, she went to save her friends from her father Valentine on a ship. While there, Valentine really down-talked her badly. He told her she wasn't capable of the powers everybody said she had. To prove him wrong, she started imaging a rune in her head. A rune is like a tattoo that people draw on shadow hunters to make them fearless or invisible or stuff like that. So she started drawing it on a wall, an opening rune, which made the ship burst to pieces, saving shadow hunters and downworlders. Clary then saves Simon again before a big war with Valentine and the shadow hunters. Valentine offers a deal to the shadow hunters about letting him do what he wants with his demons and taking over the world. And if the shadow hunters were to disagree to that deal, he would kill them all with his demons. When the shadow hunters disagree, they ask for help from the downworlders. All the downworlders agree to this except the vampires, and they'll only fight if they have Simon with them. Simon volunteers for giving himself up to the vampires, and Clary insists on drawing the Mark of Cain rune on his forehead. The Mark of Cain is used to protect the people it's on. So if somebody came up to kill you, it actually killed them instead of the person they're trying to kill. This saves Simon multiple times, and it also makes the vampires fight with the shadow hunters. This helps them win the war against Valentine and get rid of Valentine, actually. Now let's discuss how she never gave up in hard times. Before Clary found out about shadow hunters, her mother was kidnapped by Valentine, her evil father. She knew she had to try her hardest to get her back, and even through hard times that she knew she wasn't ready for. Through all of her hard work and dedication, she finally found her mother, even though she was unconscious. She was still safe. Later, Clary had to break her mother's rules to get her boyfriend Jace back. He was under control of her evil brother Sebastian. They are basically linked as two people. As one person. She had to stay with them through dangerous situations in an invisible house that traveled throughout the world. At Clary's breaking point, she finally figured out how to save Jace with a magical sword. The sword was only to kill you if you had more bad in you than good. And when Clary couldn't get to Sebastian first, she knew it had to be Jace. But she believed that Jace had enough good in him to save him. And she was right. She saved Jace and the whole Shadowhunter world from her brother Sebastian. Now that I've explained how good of a person Clary is, I hope you look up to her when she comes and speaks on stage. Clary has become a young woman by all the bad choices she has made. Even if they are really bad, she still saved people. She was always there for her friends. She used her powers in a great way, and she never gave up. So I hope you're getting anxious to meet her, because I'm almost done. One last quote before the hero Clary Fray steps on stage by Minnie Driver. I wouldn't change a thing about my past, because what may have been bad choices have all led me to this moment. Thank you.
Very good.